Hi and welcome to Industry Update, your source for the latest news in the ad specialty industry from the ASI Show Dallas. I'm Dave Agnoni. In this episode, we'll tell you how you can become a lead generating machine, plus we'll share some secrets on successful self-promo campaigns. But we begin with one of the highlights of Education Day, the Distributor Networking Lunch. With our coverage on that, here's the Director of Education for ASI, Nicole Rollander.
I'm here with Brad White, who's the Vice President of Sales for Boundless Network. We just finished up our Distributor Success Lunch. It was a really great session. We had 5 elite marketing minds on our panel. We talked about some of the top promotional campaigns. So, Brad, what I wanted to ask you, what is the best way for distributors to work with suppliers when they're trying to create a top-notch promotional campaign?
I really think it's important that distributors rely on suppliers for creative ideas. Find out, who are your good supplier partners that are going to provide you quick service, quality products. It's really important to get to know them because they really are who you rely on for your reputation. You know, if they do something wrong, a product ships incorrect or late, it comes down on you, not them. So I would say, really find suppliers that you can trust.
You had a good analogy, a waiter analogy, when a distributor is talking with a supplier. What is that?
Well, I would just say, when I go out to eat, I always ask the waiter, what's the best thing to get? Because number one, I think you're really going to get what's good, and number two, they're personally invested in your enjoyment. And so I think the analogy carries over into the distributor-supplier relationship because, if you go to your supplier and say, my client is this, and they are trying to accomplish that they're going to find the right solution for you. Your suppliers know their products in and out. They know how they've been used successfully, and they can really offer you a lot of advice.
All right, well, that's fantastic. Thanks a lot for joining us today, Brad.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Nicole Rollander for ASI TV.
Thanks, Nicole. We move from networking to self-promos with some real-life examples on how you can generate more sales. Here's the editor of SGR, Michelle Bell.
I'm here with Billy Booth, the Vice President of Business Development for Bluegrass Promotions. And Billy, can you give us, we just finished our education session on the secrets of successful self-promotion campaigns. Can you give some tips about what constitutes a great self-promotion piece?
Absolutely. I think this was a great session. And some of the things that came out is you have to commit to an attitude. You have to take a creative approach. And so many times it's not about the product. We found successfully it's always about the messaging. And then making your packaging creative, making it sizzle, make it memorable, and make it connect with that message that's so central to that market are the key elements, I think, of a successful promotion. And I think just by nature, we as distributors tend to fall back on what's easy, what's accessible, instead of taking time and engaging in this creative process.
Great.
And they can yield some phenomenal results if they go through the process.
Well, thanks so much, and this is Michelle Bell with ASI TV.
Thanks very much, Michelle. Of course, even if you offer great self-promos, you can always use a few outstanding leads as well. With more on that, here's a new addition to our editorial team, Chris Ruvo.
Hi, ASI TV is here with Karen Hunter, CEO of Head of the Hunt. She just delivered a speech on how to become a lead generating machine. So Karen, if you would just share with us a few tips for generating new business and getting new clients.
Well, thanks for having me here at ASI Dallas. It's awesome. And what I recommend is be open. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, put your logo on everything that you wear, put yourself out there. You're a marketing specialist, and prove it to people around you. Because if they see your logo, they see you, they like what you have, they're going to want it for their business too.
You talked particularly about always wearing a logoed shirt everywhere you go and hitting up potential clients in unexpected places. Can you give us a few examples of that?
An example of hitting up a client in an unexpected place is I found an ID badge outside of a shopping mall during the holidays. I happened to pick it up, went back to my office, contacted the person whose ID badge it was. She was the director of admissions of a university near where I work in New Jersey, and she became a client, and then she relocated to Massachusetts. She's now the director of admissions at a big university up there, and she brought me with her. Now, generating a lead. I picked up her card. She became my client. She brought me up to Massachusetts. She introduced me to some people up there. Now I think I have 4 buyers in her new location. I'd say I'm generating leads.
All right, Karen, thank you so much for your time.
Great, thank you.
All right, thanks, Chris. We now turn our attention to 3 hot markets for apparel sales. With our coverage on that once again, here's Nicole Rollander.
I'm with Mark Held, who's National Sales Manager for Bodek & Rose. So you just finished your session on 3 hot apparel markets. You were mentioning organic and USA made. So who's buying that?
Well, I did. Right now, organic, remember, it's not a fad. It came back. The problem we had in the last 2 years in the environment, if the environment overpaying more for a t-shirt, unfortunately the environment lost. But today, think about colleges, universities, bookstores, utilities, Fortune 500. And selling organic, it's not about that one shirt. They have to believe in the cause. They have to believe that they're saving the environment. That's why universities and schools and utilities are so good. T-shirts, bags, caps, it's back. The problem is we don't have enough organic cotton today. But it's something that you need to show your customer. If you want to sell it, don't be afraid to give them a thank you or upsell them into that. I always say the worst thing they can say is no.
And how about USA made?
You know, USA made, think about this, the summer months, July 4th, the holidays, police, fire. That's something people are looking for. They're just happy that you can get it. And I'm a firm believer in upselling the t-shirt customer. So next time you have a t-shirt order, don't be afraid to offer them a USA made or an organic. Worst thing they can say is no, but if they say yes, you increased your margin and you're going to grow your sales with them. And it's all around us, construction, government, police, fire, they're looking for it.
Great advice, Mark.
Thank you very much.
I'm Nicole Rollander for ASI TV.
Thanks, Nicole. Now, in today's marketplace, you have to do more than just sell promotional products. So earlier today, I asked ASI presenter Ryan Sowers for some tips on how to become a PR star. Hi, I'm joined by Ryan Sowers, one of our presenters here at ASI Dallas. And Ryan just finished up a session on the new age of PR. So Ryan, give us some tips on how a company can be more effective in their PR campaigns.
As I was saying before, I think that branding has become so powerful. We all have a brand, and social media tools along with traditional media and integrating the two of them, such as LinkedIn, such as Twitter, such as Facebook, and really using them in a purposeful manner to grow your brand reaches thousands upon thousands. And I've done that for many organizations I work with. I've seen it personally, and it's just an incredibly powerful thing that's going on in 2011.
Okay, Ryan Sowers, some good advice. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you as always for watching ASI TV. Okay, finally it's time for the latest in industry news and trends. With that, here's the President and CEO of ASI, Tim Andrews, with Tim's Take.
Hi, this is Tim Andrews, President and Chief Executive Officer of ASI. I'm here at the ASI Dallas Show reporting live. We just had an open house. It was great. It was a town hall meeting where I took questions. A lot of topics came up. One of the topics that came up was about cotton prices and apparel prices. There's a lot of concern among distributors and among suppliers about what's going on in commodity prices. My main advice to both parties is to keep the dialogue open. Suppliers, are really, I think, doing a good job overall of communicating their new pricing, and it's really changing almost on a daily basis. But of course, distributors need to know what the price is going to be, because when they're making a proposal, they need to know that that price is good for certain numbers of days. So I urge distributors, when they're doing some proposals, to really make sure they've got good contact with the customer service reps at their suppliers, make sure there's a good communication going on. We also had some topics and discussion about social media, how to use social media for your business. Certainly we have some great online tutorials and information in the ASI Learning Center on ASI Central about how to do social media, what works, what doesn't work. One area that I covered is that separating your personal life from your professional life is important. Some people have commingled them and mixed them. I've been one of those people guilty of that. I think that people should really decide, is Facebook something I'm using for business? Is it something I'm using for personal? You should really have a fan page for your business, and then you should have a personal area on Facebook, in my opinion. And then, of course, LinkedIn is another service that people are using mostly for professionals. So really think about, what are the different platforms out there, which ones of those are going to be for my personal life and which ones are going to be for my business life, and keep them pretty separate, because you really don't want to have commingling. You don't want to have photographs of your family showing up with a customer taking a look at it, probably, but if you do, you should move that to a platform where you want to have some personal and private life sort of commingled. The other area that came up was video, and we're doing a video right now. How do I use video? What should I do with video? I urge suppliers to spend time creating video demonstrations and educational videos about their products, what makes them different, what should a distributor need to know about their products. Those can be put into ESP, so a distributor taking a look at a product can see a demonstration of the product on ESP, can hear about the company, can hear from the CEO or the VP of marketing or sales, why should we do business with a supplier, what sets you apart. Those are really important. And then I urge distributors to do the same thing. As you're walking around the trade show floor, as you're in your own area at home or in your office, do little snippet videos that are very short and very quick, demonstrating products, educating your end buyers on what's going on, telling them things that you really think they need to know. So that's some highlights from my town hall meeting here at ASI Dallas. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is Tim's Take.
All right, thanks, Tim, and thank you for watching. Also, be sure to check out Counselor Promogram for the latest editions of The Joe Show and Fashion Finds. Until tomorrow, from the ASI Show Dallas and for Industry Update, I'm Dave Vagnoni. Have a great day.